Okay, Daf Chav Ches, top of the page, the Mishnah, and today's subject is all about Cheskas Chaim. If we could assume status quo that we know a person was alive, that he's still alive, even though we don't know what's happening with him. Mm-hmm. So the Mishnah starts and says that if you know that he was once upon a time alive, you can assume further. And maybe get v'nichos zokein o chola. Someone is a shliach for a get, and he doesn't have any communication with the husband who he left. He didn't have telephones or anything like that. And he left him as an old man. Sent to get.
They left him
as an old man or a sick man. So no shala b'cheskas shukayim. Now shliach got to the wife. He wants to give the get. He doesn't know. Maybe the husband died already. He was old or sick. And the question, obviously, the reason why the husband's giving the get is because he wants to save her from yibum, because or else he's going to die anyway. So what's the purpose of giving a get? She'll be able to remarry. But the point is that he has no children and he has a brother. And the brother probably is not available. The brother is far away, and if she's gonna fall to yibum, she'll be stuck. So he wants to free her from the yibum, so he sends a get. So now the question is, when the shliach arrives to give the wife the get, maybe he has to be choshish that the husband already died. Then he can't give a get after death. So the Mishnah says, no sin la b'cheskas shulkayim. You can give her the get, and the status quo that the husband is still alive. That's the Mishnah that says the cheskas chayim. Like any kind of chazaka, you will, since when you left, you knew that was a status, so the status continues until you find out differently. And the Mishnah gives two other cases, we could put in parentheses, more or less, that other applications of this cheskas chaim, and that is one, Bas Yisrael Hanasul the Kohen. Bas Yisrael is married to a Kohen, she's allowed to eat truma before she's married, but the husband went overseas, so she doesn't know how, again, no communication. So is the husband still alive? And she's allowed to eat truma. Maybe the husband died. 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, a year. The husband didn't come back. Can she assume that he's still alive? So the Mishnah says yes. She's allowed to continue eating truma because there's a status quo that he's still alive, and she could assume that he's alive wherever he is. He could, and she could eat truma because she's the wife of a Kohen. A third application: someone sent the korban chatas from overseas, and the shliach brought it to the base of Mikdash.
It doesn't mean the money, or means the animal.
So I mean, either one probably, because the animal might be difficult to bring the animal from overseas. But then also you can make a shliach send the money, and the person, the shliach, buys it.
That money
and what makes it, he brings a korban chatas for this person. It's this Ruvain's, where it is, and now he wants to bring it to the base of Mikdash. Maybe the Meshaleach already died, and he can't bring a korban chatas after the owner died. That's chatas shemesu bala. So again, you could assume that he's still alive. 3 times the same yisod, that a person that was alive, known to be alive, he has a cheskas chaim until known otherwise, and therefore you can give a get in his name, and the wife could continue eating truma if the husband's a kohen, and if someone sent the korban chatas, you could bring it, assuming that he's alive. So one yisod of the Mishnah that you go to cheskas chaim.
He's far away, this sick man.
You don't know. You have no communication with him now, right? You don't have communication with him. So even if it's overseas, everything it could be a long time. He has a cheskas chaim until otherwise.
So isn't this the general rule of hazaka?
Yeah, sounds simple. And why we'll see the Gemara, but it continues to be simple. Amar Rava lo shandu el zaken shlo agil legvuros v'chola sherov cholim l'chaim aval zaken shegil legvuros the go says. Here he says, okay, slowly, he says that this is only until age 80. After age 80, maybe there's no rules, like it says, you mentioned the saying of there might be a few shatim in the pasuk over there, but Gemara goes that it means when he's if he's strong, like that's considered like Higil Legvuros, that he got to be 80. Then Shmonim Legvur, is that the Mishnah in Kavravas. So if he came 80, there's no more cheskas chaim anymore. 70 is considered normal, and 80 is considered super. And after 80, we can't assume that he's still alive. And a chola, that is not a goses. A goses means that he's dying. He's expiring. So then a chola, most sick people get better. So therefore, he's not a cheskas chaim. That's the Mishnah says zaken and a chola. But if he be a zaken if he's already past the age 80, or a goses, then over there Rov goses in the misa. Most goses do die. It's very seldom that a goses will become alive again, will live and stop being a goses. So then there's no more cheskas chaim. That was Rava. Esvei Abaye. Abaye has conscious show. Yes, please.
So low Hagila grew. I mean, he didn't get to 80.
Right. Till 80, there's a Cheskes Chaim. But past 80, there's no Cheskes Chaim. That was rubble. Abaye has a kasha to show that even past 80 is also a Cheskes Chaim. We have no kasha on Goses. Goses is going to stay true that a Goses does not have a Cheskes Chaim. Esvei Abaye. And the whole also, there's no, I don't think that there's going to be any dion about a chola. Esvei Abaye. Maybe get the nichozok and a filu ben mea shana. No shalom b'cheskes shu kayim. Look at that. They're even 100 years old.
What do you do with the word low?
No, the Mishnah is not true. Again, the Mishnah says,
did not
Lo
refer to such a
Shanu,
case.
Lo Shanu. The Mishnah only talking about the Zaken that's not 80 and a Chola because we're all Chaim L'chaim. But a Zaken should give it worse. And it goes says that's what goes to the Misa. No, the Mishnah is not true. The Mishnah is not saying in that case. When the Mishnah says that the husband has a Cheskes Chaim, it's not in this case. Not in the case of
Of a Goses.
a Goses or a Yel Gvuros. Esvei Abaye is going to attack and show that even past 80. There's no, I think that was not going to talk about a Chola, both Chola and L'chaim. Goes to Lamisa, that there's no kasha. But the kasha about the 80, Esvei Abaye, he says in the Brisa, maybe get the nichuzake, afilu ben mea shana, even 100 years old. No shalom b'cheskes shu kayim. So it says even past 100. He also has a cheskes chaim, no limit. Tifta, so you're right. Tifta, not true. Abaye is wrong, and there's no. The person has a cheskes chaim even past age 80, 90,
Tifta
100.
is like an acceptance of the second opinion.
It's a Brisa against Rava.
How is the Bryce?
What is that?
Where's the Bryce?
Esvei Abaye. One line up. I maybe get the nichuzak and afilu ben mea shana. No shalom b'cheskes shu kayim. So Tifta, so knocks off Rava. Rava is disproven. Iboy Sema, you could reconcile Rava with the Brisa. Given the iflig. Once he went so far, so then he's in a different category. There are people that live, usually people live 70, 80 with Buras. But once he's past a certain age, so then he's not regular, and then he has a Cheskes Chaim even in an advanced age. So in the Gemara, you might say that once he's 100, so then he has a Cheskes Chaim, how long is he going to live? How long does it go on? I don't know. Rashi puts in that the Gemara means past 90. If he made it to 90, so then he's not, then he's stronger than regular people, and then he has Cheskes Chaim. According to the second terrace, 80 till 90, according to Rashi, then with regular people don't live so long. But once he's 90, so then he's different. So what does that mean? That now how long is he going to live? I don't understand the Gemara too much. It means that there's more, statistically, the Gemara is going to say that there are more 90-year-olds that make it to 95 than 80-year-olds that make it to 85. I don't know. The Rambam doesn't pass like the second terrace. The Rambam passes like the first terrace, that there's no difference and everybody has a Cheskes Chaim, 80, 90, 100, 120, everybody has a Cheskes Chaim.
Is the iflig means here like to be split?
I'm sorry?
The iflig means to be split.
Once
Split from the klal.
I don't think it means separated, but it means once he went so far.
This morning, actually.
Once he went so far, he goes further.
What does plug mean?
Sometimes it means the hand. I don't
Here
think
it means-
it's called like when if like in the yam, you're going out,
Once he went so far,
you'll go further.
I remember once Rav Shembeck gave me a bracha for somebody.
He could live. He could live
so
longer.
this is according to Rava.
This is the answer, Rava. In order to reconcile Rava with the Brisa, you may say that Rava is right. Then after 80, there's no Cheskes Chaim. But if he got past 90, so then he's different, and maybe he could live longer. And he has. Rashi doesn't translate the word iflig. If anybody has the exact translation, please do. Abu Lazar, what are you saying?
I was saying, Rav Shembeck once blessed somebody who was 92, 3 or something, and told me to tell him he could live for a long time if he's already got this far.
Based on this Gemara.
Based on this
The
Gemara.
Rambam doesn't pass like that. Okay.
So
So Rambam passes everybody. Rambam passes everybody. It's Cheskes Chaim, even past 80, 90,
Right.
even not
No,
like
but you
this.
can use this as a raya for a 90-year-old that they're in. They could keep moving. They're doing okay. They're doing great.
Can you pronounce this word?
Different. Okay,
No,
different.
so someone, yes, distinguished himself. Someone said of Pshat this morning, I don't know if he's correct, he said that Pshat is that not after someone who's 90 lives longer, 95 less people die. The idea was he's not in the realm of normalcy. So you don't look at the normalcy.
I don't think that it's
That's what
saying
I
different.
thought.
I don't think that it's that it's
That's what I'm saying.
the same thing. It boils down to the same thing.
But you add statistics, he's not in the
So that's-
realm, the realm of statistics.
So now I want to know that. So what does that mean? So now tell me statistics for 90-year-olds. What?
No.
If Rashi says it says like it's Veinu Kichara or the Miyas Karblamos. He's not.
So I'm just asking you, what does it want me to say that there are more than once people are 90, so they live longer statistically. Many more, I'm not talking about it. Of course, he's 90 is more than 80, but we want to know now how much longer is he going to live? So by an 80-year-old, we don't know how long he's going to live. 1 year, we don't know. No, we don't see that. But then it means that statistically, the 90-year-old will get further in the 90s than the 80-year-old is going to get in the 80s. Is that what the Gemara means? It's hard for me to understand.
Rashi continues. Ben Shmainen va'achas hayaser ad tishim karblamusu.
Yeah, we're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing. So I'm asking if that's what we're saying. Okay, so I'm just asking that I don't understand.
Maybe those days.
A
Everything's good?
6-month baby is, a 6-month pregnancy is more viable than a 7-month baby. So here 80s is less viable than a 90s.
If everyone's happy, I'm happy.
It doesn't make sense to me either. I'm just saying that's,
Okay.
it seems like it's.
New Gemara. So we asked the Kasha, we said the Teretz, and either we don't pass them like Rava, the Rambam doesn't pass like Rava, and therefore Teskas time even for 80-year-olds.
6-month baby.
It could be something else also.
Uh,
It could be Me'eker Adin,
it's
the whole
according to-
flat is
no, the
not
Gemara.
Me'eker Adin.
In the
Because you have
Gemara,
Chazaka, even though people die, it doesn't take away from Chazaka.
So there's the sense in the Gemara, but the Gemara is saying kill between 80 and 90. The Gemara is saying something. Sure. Okay,
7-month-old baby.
I was starting over here. Rami Leah by the Rava. So hold me by Kasha now.
maybe I have it wrong, maybe 7 and 8.
Yeah, it used to be.
Yeah, 8-month babies is dangerous.
8th month is.
They
I'm
consider-
sorry,
they
7th month
consider
and 8th.
dead.
They're considered.
But now today, 8-month babies live also. It's not-
Rami Leah by the Rava. Akasha on the whole Mishnah. The Mishnah says you have a Cheskas Chaim. And Rabbi is going to ask.
Are we in Raminu?
We're in Rami Leah.
Um,
The first one on the line is Abaye. Remember the Abaye the Rabba Kasha on our Mishnah. Tanana, maybe you get the Nichazake no Chola. No son of Becheska Shukam. That's our Mishnah that the Shliach got to get. He's on the way. He doesn't know if the husband's still alive. He's allowed to assume that the husband's alive, status quo, and he can give the get, and she can get married, assuming the husband died. Assuming the husband did not die by the time he got the get. Cheskas Chaim, simple. We're a minute Kasha from another Mishnah. I raise a kitech shal achas kodem lemisasa. Asura lachol b'truma miyad. If a husband gives a wife a get, that should take effect an hour before he dies. Again, it's because he wants to save her from Yibum. No reason to. They see they want to live together, just that he might die. He wants to make sure that she's divorced, probably for Yibum. So the question is, if he's a Kohen and she's Aisha's Kohen, she's allowed to eat truma, but within the hour that he's going to die, she's going to be divorced, and he doesn't know when it's going to happen. So is she allowed to eat truma?
No.
So it says, not allowed to eat truma. Why not? Because he might die within the hour. So that's against our Mishnah. Our Mishnah says there's a cheskas chaim. Our Mishnah says that you assume that the status quo is going to continue. That if he was alive, he's going to be alive. You don't say maybe he died.
Mm-hmm.
So here too, how come she cannot eat truma? Well, let her assume that cheskas chaim, he's alive. He's going to be alive within the hour, and she should be allowed to eat truma. That's a kasha from our Mishnah against. I think it's a Mishnah also. I'm not sure. I didn't look it up. Is it a Mishnah? So that's the kasha. Good kasha. Everyone's happy.
No, I don't think it's a good
The
question.
kasha is
I
that
didn't
where it
read it.
says the cheskas chaim, and that right over there it says not a cheskas chaim, that a woman who got a get that's going to take effect an hour before her husband dies is not allowed to eat truma anymore because he might die within the. I say cheskas chaim.
True. It's more Homer for somebody not allowed to.
Won't be
then-
home all day, so later, I'm gonna go,
I'm waiting for the end of the sentence. It's more chomer for a married woman than a married woman to get married.
Huh?
It's more chomer to eat truma for non-Kohen than it is for a married woman to be married. Doesn't
make sense.
Doesn't seem to flow, huh?
I was waiting for the end of the sentence.
That's a whole different skate.
No, I thought
Time
you,
is
I was
because
thinking about comparing it to Yibum.
We don't have even here. We
No.
have, you're saying that, no,
The fact
Lake
that-
Yaakov was saying, well, he's saying that, and it's not a question of a married woman. The question is maybe the husband died
Maybe he died and then.
and then she's chayv in Yibam. So I
She's
think that the
chayv.
whole shash is going to be that she's going to be a Yibam Malashut. That she got a get, and really she didn't get a get. Really her husband died, and she didn't get a get, and she's really chayv Yibam, and she's going to be marrying out. So I take it back. I made a mistake. That the case here is going to be not Aisha Sish, it's going to be a Yibam Malashut. So you want to say maybe you're machmir by
What's so
truma.
terrible about it? She's if she's gonna
So
be,
you-
if she's gonna be a Zakisha to a Yavam, to her Yavam.
and she's gonna marry some stranger, is that, maybe it's not
Oh,
as
she's
bad as
gonna
eating,
marry-
as eating.
Well, I
tuna.
thought she got-
We'll tell her she thinks she gotta get, and she's gonna go marry somebody. And then there's no Yavam around. I mean,
thinks
really,
she
she's not allowed to
died. Oh,
marry
she
because
thinks
her husband died
he
first.
died.
So you say that maybe Truma was more homo. I don't know. The Gemara's not gonna go with that.
Okay,
The case here is not like the person who's got a cheskes because he lives long. Here, he already made a stipulation there an hour before he died.
So
It's got nothing to do with how long he lived.
why not?
Oh, I see. So it comes out the same.
The question is he gonna die within
Yeah,
the
when
hour?
he
If they have a
turns-
chesed time, he's not gonna die within the hour.
when he turns 80, then she should
We
stop.
finished
eating
80, 80
sugar.
gonna pass like 80, no, there's no difference there.
don't
We
say
just
that.
finished
go like a
passing
fire.
that there's no chash
When
about,
it becomes
there's
a
no
ghost,
difference. He does, yeah, he has a chazak, he's not a ghost, he doesn't
when
die.
he
he doesn't-
becomes a ghost,
he
then
is,
she can stop.
Yeah, we're
eating
not
sugar.
talking about a ghost. We don't know that he's a ghost. We know
I
left him
know,
and he's.
I know,
So-
I'm saying she can keep eating sugar.
He's saying if she, no, the question,
If we go
Levi
with
Yaakov was
Chazak,
pointing out, no, Levi Yaakov is pointing out that once she becomes a ghost, then it's not a kasha that she should stop eating
Right.
truma.
Yeah.
Fine. But here it says that she's not to stop eating truma right away. Miyad, she immediately has to stop eating truma, even though her husband is fine.
Strange.
So that's the kasha. Kasha, they have a cheskes chaim or not. The Amish says yes, and this halacha seems to say no.
Maybe Kohanim is different. No, it's not.
So the Gemara answers, Amalei Truma Gittin Karam is asking kasha from Truma against Gittin. Truma Efsher, Get Lo Efsher. Truma, it's possible to be Machmir, Get, it's not possible to be Machmir. So these explanations, why is the difference between Truma and Get? So Truma Efsher doesn't mean that she won't eat Truma. This woman,
But the other one is she'll be a.
eat
she'll be a
fooling.
woman.
By Get, it's not possible. What's not possible? It's not possible. What's not possible? If you're always going to be choshesh that he died and he can't send the shliach, so the husband won't be able to partner his wife. He has a wife and he's scared he's going to die and she's not going to be able to get out of Yibum. And I guess the case is that the brother's not available. The brother be available to give chalitza. So what's the problem? But the brother's not here for whatever reason. The brother's overseas, and if he's going to die without children, so then she's not going to be able to marry. So we don't want to. She's going to be an aguna because it's not a real aguna. You can call it an aguna. It's going to be that the brother is not available to do chalitza, so she can't marry. So you call that an aguna because that's what the Gemara means. Get no efsher, that it's not possible for a man to send the get. It won't be possible to send the get and to help his wife out that she shouldn't be able to. She should be able to have.
I just heard a story that they, on the second day Shavuos, they go to get. And they just into this 50 years or whatever, because they knew for sure if he was very, very sick, he was going to die. And they knew that the brother was somewhere they were never going to get
A chalitza.
chalitza. So they passed him that the second day on they could write a get, and they did. They gave her a get, and then he died.
If it's possible to find the source, that would be interesting. If you could.
Well, it's not possible here, get.
To be
no
machmir, not possible to be machmir.
machmir,
Because
why?
if you're machmir, what are you going to say? That the man cannot send his wife a get. He can't send his wife a get if he's not present. You have to be choshesh that he died. And the woman who is waiting for a get in order to get freed from Yibum won't be able. She no eitzah for them.
Mhm.
So it's by truma we're machmir, not to be some on the cheskas chaim, but get that it's not possible to be machmir. I mean, of course it's possible, but then it's going to come out that the woman's not going to be able to marry because the husband wasn't able to send her a get because b'choshet that he died. So it's not possible to be machmir. So we won't. So we're not machmir over there. Too much of a chumrah. That's the much wise to answer. But everybody should have jumped up that our Mishnah has 3 cases. Our Mishnah has we had in our Mishnah, we got a bonus that it had 2 more cases. The first case was about a get. That if someone sent a get, so we could assume that he's alive. There was another 2 cases that Abbas Yisrael, Mamash, the same case came out, that Abbas Yisrael was married to a Kohen and the husband went overseas. She could eat truma. So it has a case of truma also. And here it says that you're not machmir, she's allowed to eat truma. So even though we answered the kasha that get is you have no eitzah to be machmir, but it says in the Mishnah you're not machmir with truma either. So the kasha is just as strong as a second ago. That here it says she's allowed to eat truma, even though her husband's overseas. And over here it says that if you gave her a get and said that I'm gonna the get should take effect 1 hour before I die, so it does. She's choshesh that he's gonna die. Maybe we'll put this in highlighted. This is the kasha over here. I raise a gite sha'achas kodem misasa so lechol truma miyad. That's the kasha against our Mishnah that says that this was our Mishnah before, just to get our Mishnah. Our Mishnah said, Vas Yisrael on the soul of the Kohen, upon Dinas Hayam, Ochelas b'truma. B'cheskes Shukayim. So these two things contradict each other. Here it says that first of all, try to set a chiluk between get, but the Mishnah talks about true also, not only get. That if a woman's husband went to Medina Sayyam, the Kohen went to Medina Sayyam, she's allowed to assume that he's alive. And here it says if he gave her a get that takes effect, and now before he dies, she has to stop eating truma right away. Maybe he's going to die. And that's the most kasha now. From our Mishnah, oh, kasha. Amar Rav Ada Breid Rav Yitzchok Shani Yasam Sharei Asra Olav Sha'achas Kodem Yisasam. So in this explanation, what the answer is, the words of the answer mean that over there by the get, they gave her a get that should be take effect 1 hour before. Since he asked her an hour before his death, that's why it's more common. Can anybody guess what the difference is?
Again, please.
That the case where he gave her a get that takes effect an hour before he dies, that's worse than the case of if he's not around. If he went to Medina Sayyam, you don't know if he's alive, you assume that he's alive. But in the case where he gave her a get and she's usher an hour before he dies, since it's usher an hour before he dies, that's why it's more usher. So the Gemara doesn't mamish explain why. From the end of the Gemara, from the continuation of the Gemara,
This is the answer.
that's the answer already. That's supposed to answer the kasha.
We have to answer it?
The Gemara answers it. The Gemara answers it, and let's try to understand what the words are. The words are there, it's different because she's usher before his death.
Yeah, but
So-
not an answer, it's just a fact.
No, so there must be an answer. The Gemara means they're saying an answer. So the answer seems to be that she's usher even before he dies. If you want to know, it doesn't.
So
Make,
an hour before.
she's usher in his lifetime. If she's only usher in his death, so then we say he has a cheskes chaim. But here, she's usher even in his lifetime.
For 1 hour.
She's usher
In
for
all
1 hour.
cases, 1
She's
hour.
usher in his lifetime, an hour
Exactly
before he
1 hour.
dies. That's more reason to be machmir. Does it make sense? Is that more reason to be machmir? That's because she's usher in his lifetime. She's usher in his lifetime, an hour before he dies. Is he going to die?
Yes, he has cheskes chaim.
So he said.
He has cheskes chaim, and the cheskes chaim says that he's alive. But even though he's alive, it could be an hour before he dies.
So he has a cheskes chaim in an hour also. He's going to live in. You want to know if he's going to live in. If he's going to be. If he's going to. So he said cheskes chaim should project itself to the hour also. He's going to be. He's living now. He's going to live in an hour.
Somehow that hour is more powerful.
So that's the kasha. Why is it?
more
Why is it
powerful
more?
than-
Why is it worse? The fact that
why
she's
does it
usher in a
overrun
lifetime.
the cheskes chaim?
And this that's the yes.
No, I'm just trying to get the question. The hour before he dies is more homer than.
Then the case if he
than
if he
we
did
don't know
die.
when he'll die.
Right. If you want to know if he's going to die, so we'll say he's not going to die. Is he dead or not dead? Is he going to die? Is there not that is a cheskes chaim. But here it doesn't help the cheskes chaim because she's us even when he's alive, which the horror doesn't make sense because she's only us when he's alive because he's going to die. When is he us? When is he us?
But everybody always dies eventually.
Everybody eventually dies. So therefore, what?
So he doesn't have a chazak to live forever.
True, but so the person who want to know if he's alive now also is the husband went to Medina Sayyam, so everyone dies eventually. So how come you say a cheskes chaim? Means we have a contradiction. One place we say we do rely on the chazaka that the husband was alive, so he's still alive, even though he's eventually going to die. So what's the difference if the question is that he's
alive now.
the chazaka is that he's alive now, and the chazaka should be he's going to be alive an hour also. So the Gemara eventually is going to say whatever Avnissen says, that maybe there's a difference if he's presently alive or if he's going to be alive. But that's Shema Meis or Shema Yamus. The Gemara is going to say that soon and on base. The Gemara doesn't say it yet. Here the Gemara says that she's usher even in his lifetime. Just to see from the Gemara's answer, from the Gemara's question, I'm asking if Papa's going to attack this answer. So we see from the Papa's words coming up that since there is going to be a time that she's going to be usher in his lifetime, that's why it makes it worse. Since it's definitely going to be a time that she's usher in his lifetime, that's why it's more chomer. And my Papa asks, who says she's definitely going to be usher in his lifetime? Papa, who says that he's going to die first?
She might die first.
Maybe she's going to die first, and it's never going to come to a point where she's usher in his lifetime. I don't understand the Gemara either way. I don't understand the Gemara even if she is eventually surely going to become usher in his lifetime. But still, the question is, did that time arrive yet? And we say that he has a cheskes chaim, so it should project itself to now also. I don't know what the Gemara's answer is, but I do see from my Papa that he understood the answer is that since it's definitely going to come to a time that she's going to be usher in his lifetime, So therefore, the chazaka doesn't help. And if Papa's kasha is, who says that it's definitely going to be a time when she'll be Asim in his lifetime? Maybe she's going to die first. And she never was Asim in his lifetime. As long as she was living, she was mutter to eat truma because the husband was alive. So this teretz of Ravada Barava, who's it? Ravada Rav Yitzchak is rejected. Yes.
If she dies first, then she doesn't need to get.
We're talking about if she's allowed to eat truma. The subject is that she's allowed to eat truma presently.
She
And
has
we
a
said she's not allowed to
chazaka.
eat.
Is that what we're saying?
She-
She has a lot, we don't know when she's gonna die, and she may die first.
And therefore, for some reason, that's a kasha. I don't know. I don't know what the answer was that we're attacking. But the Gemara's issue is she allowed to eat truma? She has to get that's going to take effect an hour before her husband dies, and she's not allowed to eat truma because he might die within the hour. The kasha is relying cheskas chayim that he's going to live, and the answer is that she's also even in his lifetime. And the kasha on that is that she's not necessarily also in his life, going to definitely be also in his lifetime because she might die first. I don't really know what the teretz was and what the kasha on the teretz is, but it's rejected. And we're still back to the same kasha that she's a woman is allowed to eat truma. The Eishes Kohen is allowed to eat truma even though her husband is not here because she could assume that he's still alive. And if she got a get that says that if she's divorced an hour before he dies, she cannot eat truma. And that kasha is now on the table, still on the table. Elam Rabbaye, lo kasha. Or Rav Meir, lo chayish lamisa, or Rav Yehuda, the chayish lamisa. Machlokes. There's no difference between the two cases. Both cases are the same. And our whole mission is going according to Rav Meir, that he does rely on the cheskas chaim. He's not choshish for death, which is another way of saying cheskas chaim. And Rav Yehuda does not rely on the cheskas chaim, and he's choshish for death. And with this explanation, what happened to chazaka? We know at Kol Kula there's a chazaka, like maybe Yaakov said that this is a regular chazaka. So I'm not sure why Rav Yehuda doesn't hold of it. He should hold of a regular chazaka. And the more is going to bring familiar information to show that there's a machlokes if you're choshish for death or not. And it's not after death. The Gemara is going to bring a case, are you choshish that the jug, the barrel is going to break. And this is the famous thing about which we had a couple of days ago. Someone has wine from the kusim that he has to take a trumas of maasros, and he doesn't have opportunity to now. It's that like varei tevel, and he doesn't have another cup to put the trumas of maasros into. So what does he do? So there's a possibility to be mafresh now, whatever I'm gonna leave over at the end, which is called brera. But even after all the brera, there's still a possibility maybe it's gonna break. Maybe the barrel's gonna break before I have a chance to leave it over. And then there wasn't any truma at the end, so there's no truma before, and it's tevel, and you can't drink it.
And we don't choshesh.
So Rav Meir is not choshesh, and Rav Yehuda and Rav Yosef Shimon are choshesh. So
Before
it's
we go on,
machlokes.
what would Rabbi Yehuda say about when the guy gives the get for an hour before death?
You're choshesh that he's gonna die. And he's also gonna say that if the
Oh, I'm
husband,
sorry. No. So the other one, who's Rabbi Meir, what would he say about
he
that?
say you're not choshesh.
She can eat the
She can eat
truma,
the
even though
truma.
she has a get.
That's gonna take effect in an hour. We assume he's gonna live within the hour.
I see. Okay.
And there's the machlokes
Would
going
you say
on.
Rabbi Meir doesn't hold by that?
Rav Meir holds by chazaka, cheskas, and Rav Yehuda does not hold by cheskas.
Okay, but that rice or whatever it is, a Mishnah. Or
Right,
it's
I-
just
I-
not
I-
very-
Right, and look, and our Mishnah is just not
it's not
Rav
Rabbi
Yehuda.
Yehuda. Okay, very
And
good.
it doesn't have to do only with truma, but all the whole Mishnah. Rabbi is going to argue the whole Mishnah. The Mishnah is going to say if someone's a shliach for a get, you cannot give it because he doesn't know if the husband's alive. Maybe the husband died, and the basis wrote that the husband went to Medina Sayyam cannot eat truma. Maybe the husband died, and someone sent the chatas from Medina Sayyam. You cannot bring it because maybe the man died. Then it's a chatas shemesu b'aleh. So this Mishnah is only Rabbi Meir, and
All these kashas are Rabbi Yehuda.
and there's one kasha.
This one kasha.
The one kasha that says that truma, no difference truma or get, they're all the same. Everything's the same category. Are you choshesh misa or you say cheskas chayim? Here it says that an hour before his death, he gave a get that takes effect an hour before his death. So machlokes, are you choshesh he's going to die or not? Rav Meir will say not choshesh. Go ahead, eat truma, and when he dies, and then you weren't allowed to eat your truma for the past hour. Maybe you did by mistake. And according to Rabbi Yehuda, she cannot eat truma. There's no difference in all these cases. Just the machlokes say choshesh or not.
And now we're going to see the mahlokas.
Now we'll see the machlokes. This we know already. Really, we learned it last time. The main focus we were talking about if you hold yesh bearer, ain't bearer. That in order to do this whole trick about leaving truma at the end is only if you hold yesh bearer. But the Gemara said at the end of the price, it says that even if you hold yesh bearer, to still be concerned maybe the barrel's going to break and you're not going to be able to leave off truma at the end. And the Rebbe said the kishay baka, I don't care about that. So that's a machlokes. Choshesh is going to break. So there's no difference between choshesh, a barrel's going to break, or that a person's going to die. Do you go with chazaka? You don't go with chazaka. If a person bought wine from the kutim, the shamronim, and they don't care about if the evil is sit and michshel, you have to be choshesh that is tevel. Omer. So and he has no plea in order to take a trumas and maasros. Shnei lugin shani yasad la'afrei shavei in truma. Asara ma'aser rishon, tisha ma'aser sheni. That he says, he declares all of the truma that he's going to leave over at the end, but he's declaring it right now. I hereby declare that the molecules that are going to be left over, I'm sorry, saying molecules that are going to be left over at the end, that is hereby truma right now. Where is it? I don't know. It's flying around. I'll tell you later on when it settles down and I leave over at the end. That's going to be the truma that I made right now. And 10, after take off 2, there's 98. So 10, it's not after 10, it means 9.8. That is also going to be left over. Right now, I'm making it to be Ma'aser Rishon. And whatever's left over after that is going to be Verich 9, even less. So then I'm making it here by Ma'aser Sheni. Mechal, some say that it means that you start drinking. Some say that you mechalel it, at least the Ma'aser Sheni that you can do it better.
Mechal, I think would mean the rest, it's now Hulan.
So they don't say that. They say the choice will be that Mechal means that you mechalel the Ma'aser Sheni, even though he already he said the Ma'aser Sheni is going to be left over, but it could be mechalel it onto a coin, and the Ma'aser Sheni could be transferred. The kedusha could be transferred onto a coin, and it also be able to drink even that 9 also. He only has to leave over. He can leave over that part, but then he could drink it also because it's Ma'aser Sheni, which was mechula. The show samiyah, then you could drink it now. You could drink it, even though you weren't mafish trumas or ma'asros. You didn't set it aside. You just declared it. It's good enough. Did Rav Meir because the old yesh brera. And I could say now what's going to be happening. I could do an action now, and I don't know what's really happening until later on. So here he says that 2 that are left over at the end are hereby truma, even though he's not making truma later on. Makes trumas later on not good enough. He can't make truma later on. It has to be truma now. So ask him, where is that 2 lugin? That's truma. It's mixed up in the wine. I don't know which is going to be left over. I'm not a navi, but it's going to happen later on. After I leave it over, that'll show retroactively what I meant to do. That's called brera. They say no, we can't do it. It doesn't say here why not. It could be because they hold the ain brera, or it could be because they hold that it says the end of the price. They told Rav Meir that maybe the barrel's going to break. So they're choshish, maybe the barrel's going to break. And Rav Meir said the kishei boka, I'm not choshish it's going to break. So too, by death, Rav Yehuda says I'm choshish is going to die, and Rav Meir says not choshish is going to die. Machlokes. That's how Abai answered.
Because of brera.
Even if there's no problem, the Brisa says openly that even if there's no problem with Brera, or the Mishnah, even if there's no problem with Brera, there's a problem about the barrel breaking. But Meir is definitely not choshesh the barrel is going to break. And Rabbi Shimon say you should be choshesh the barrel is going to break, even if there's no Brera problem. Even if you're the Brera, but there's still a breaking.
Because of the Raisa, and they don't want to have a subject the Raisa, the 3 machmir.
They say it might break. You're not choshesh on
I mean, it's a very light, it's a very small option, what's called a percentage.
That it might break.
Yeah, very small.
Okay, but the more puts it all, the more it doesn't look at like small. The more says the more puts it the same thing. I hear what you're saying, but the more puts it all together that they're choshesh, they're not samach on the chazaka. I don't know what it means. Not samach on chazaka in the whole Torah. I don't know what it means, but they're not samach on chazaka, and Rav Meir is samach on the chazaka. No difference between dying and the barrel breaking is all the same. That Rabbi Yehuda is not choshesh. Is choshesh the barrel's going to break, and he's choshesh that the person's going to die. And Rav Meir is not choshesh, cheskas chai, cheskas shalem, the barrel's not broken. If it's status quo, it's going to, why should I assume that it's going to break? That's how bias teretz to reconcile these contradictions. Rav Amar.
Is Rabbi Meir usually choshesh for the miyut?
Rabbi Meir is choshesh l'miyut. And here he's not, here he's samach on chazaka.
What's a miyut mean?
A miyut means against the rove. That's true. I think that's true. But it's a different subject. One is about rove and miyut, and one is about chazaka, the status quo, that is going to remain status quo. So the Chorah seems to be a different issue. Rove and miyut means that you go with the statistics of the rove, the majority.
I thought all the rice is more than half is machmir, less than half you're making.
You're referring to rove? So
Less than rove.
we're not talking about, so we're talking about chazaka here. We're talking about the subject of chazaka. Chazaka means status quo. Do you assume that something that says certain status, that it continued unless otherwise, until you know that different? So here we're talking about the chashash, someone's going to die. So some places you see a choshesh, you're not choshesh. So the Abai compares to the case also where you see a chashash, if the barrel's going to break and he puts it all together, the machlokes, Rabbi Meir is not choshesh is going to break. He keeps the status quo, and both for living and for the barrel not breaking. And Rabbi Yehuda, it's choshesh. The same way as choshesh, the barrel's going to break. It's choshesh, the person's going to die. Rava Amar. on the turn of the page, Shema Meis Lo Chashinan, Shema Yamos Chashinan. This is what this is what I was saying earlier. And maybe we'll try to get it shot. If you want to know in the past, is he dead? Did he die already? So we say no. Shema Meis Lo Chashin. We're not choshish that he died. So in the case where they went overseas and now you want to know is the husband still alive, you can safely assume the husband is still alive. You're not choshish he died. But now the case of the get, that if he dies within the hour, she's not allowed to eat truma now, but she's already divorced now. So yes, we are choshish, she is going to die. Means maybe this is also together with what Dr. Fine said before, that everyone eventually is going to die.
Right.
So therefore, you want to say this person's never going to die. We're not saying that. What I know says as long as you don't want to know right now. So we say there's a status quo. He was alive. You could assume that he's still alive. You want to say that he's never going to die. No one's saying he's never going to die. Everybody's going to die. So therefore, as far as the future, we can't say that the chazaka means he's never going to die. So therefore, when is he going to die? I don't know. That I don't know. Maybe even within the hour he's going to die. And the barrel also. The barrel also.
Not likely to break.
The barrel also. If you talk about if it broke.
So
If it-
you're saying with gittin, what's the point with gittin?
There's no difference between the more time between gittin or truma. No difference. The chiluk is the past or the future. You want to know. You want to know if he died. I'll say he didn't die. You want to know if he's going to die. So I don't know if he's going to die. Maybe he's going to die. I don't know if a chazak is not going to die. On the contrary, I say that people are going to die. So I don't know when he's going to die. Of course, there could be that he might have died already, but I have a chazaka. That's the status quo. But you want to know that the status quo is going to continue. When I look onto the future, I'm not. So I can't say that the chazaka is he's not going to die. The chazaka is that he's going to die.
Is he going to die in the lifetime of the war?
We want to know if he's going to die within the hour. That's what we want to know. Is he going to die within the hour?
The
Is he
chazaka
gonna
is
die
only,
within
from,
the hour?
is only about the present. It's not about
The
what might.
present,
In other words, the chazaka might change, or we're not.
yeah, it's a chazaka which is going to change, but still it says as far as you want to know, did it change yet? We'll say it didn't change yet.
But might it change? Yes.
It
we're
might
worried.
change, and therefore we're not going to say the chazaka is that it's not going to change within the hour. Even though you might ask, Chavusha presented the question, 7 o'clock. We want to know if he's going to die or not. So we'll say, in the hour, within the hour, he might die within the hour. Then it comes 8 o'clock. Is he alive? Is he still
So maybe
alive?
he's gonna die
We'll say yes,
at
he's alive.
night,
But you said a
but
second
not-
ago, 7 o'clock. You said that maybe he's going to die by 8 o'clock. So it doesn't have to do with that kind of statistics. It has to do with what we're judging. If we're judging the past, if he died, so we say chazaka, status quo. We knew once upon a time he was alive. We can assume he's still alive. But now you want to talk about what's going to be in the future. I don't know. So you can't even know even within an hour. So we won't project the chazaka to say that he's going to be alive in an hour. Even though once we get there, we'll say yes. Once it comes 8 o'clock, we'll say he's probably still alive.
There's a chazaka that he's alive now.
Yes,
That's different than.
that he's going to be alive in an hour.
Yeah.
That's the hardest difference between Shema Meis and Shema Yomis. And at this point, the Gemara also is talking about the barrel breaking. Is the barrel broke? The barrel is, we know that here the case is you have the barrel in front of you. You want to know, is it going to break within the hour? Maybe it's going to break. Maybe there's no chazaka. Maybe in the future, there's no chazaka that the barrel is going to stay intact. Within the hour, it might break. And the Gemara is going to ask right away that your mayor is not choshish for that either. That you want to say that in the future there is no chazaka. By the node, by the barrel, by the jug, you see that Meir holds that even in the future also you have a chazaka, because the question over there is the barrel going to be intact soon, in an hour? That after I finish drinking, will the barrel still be around? That I should be able to take to leave Trumas and Maisrus. So Meir says you're not choshish is going to break. So you see, Meir is not choshish even in the future. You're saying the chiluk is the past and the future, but Meir says you're not choshish even in the future. Because no, the Kishema Yamasu is like the future, similar to the case of is he going to die? Is the barrel going to break? Well, Pligi, you see that Rabbi Meir is choshish over there also. So it's a Kashan Rabba. Rav Yehuda Midiskarta, that's the name of the city that it came from, not the regular Rav Yehuda. We know the after the Masalei Shomer. A barrel is easier to protect than a human life. The human life, if he's dying, he's dying. He can't. No one can save him. But by a barrel, you can watch it well that it shouldn't break. But the Gemara says that's not true. Your guarantor, and he's a guarantor, means you can't. It's not nothing's foolproof. It could be the barrel's going to break, even though I gave it to a shomer. The shomer might break.
I thought maybe the Shema might die.
Okay, however you want to
The
say it.
barrel
but
is
the
better
barrel-
than what?
Okay, that's probably better than I
The
said.
barrel is better
The
than
Gemara
what?
thinks that the barrel is is better to able to protect that it shouldn't break.
From
No,
what? Better
From
than what?
getting broken,
Barrels
more,
don't get
more than a
sick.
person not dying.
Than a person not dying. There's
Barrels don't
more
get
of a
sick.
chazaka in the future of a
Even
barrel,
for the future.
even for the future, because it was existing now, it's gonna be more easy to say.
Just make sure that it shouldn't break. But the Gemara doesn't accept that. You can't, the Shomer also, as Avrohom said, that the Shomer needs a Shomer. Who says the Shomer is going to be able to, maybe he's going to sneeze or something like that. Maybe he's going to die, whatever you're going to say. Masaf Lavashasha, Avatzarach, your guarantor, he's a guarantor. Not every guarantor is foolproof. He's not a foolproof guarantor. El Amar of Shema me Slochashinan, Shema Yamos Tanoi. He gives in that there's a machlokas about the future. He's not saying that everybody holds. Or Mary and Buddha are arguing about being choshesh in the future. But Yikashi was to answer to reconcile the Mishnayos. So that's the case of the Shema Meis. So I could say that it's all Rabbi Yehuda, and he distinguishes between Shema Meis and Shema Yamos. So now Mishnah is talking about the past. So Rabbi Yehuda was also not choshesh. Rabbi Meir is not even choshesh in the future either. That's machlokas. The hour, and she's not a truma till he dies. She's not a truma. But the case of our Mishnah that says that he went overseas, and the question is that she's not a truma, some amazed, then everybody holds you're not choshesh. Everybody holds of the cheskas chayim in the past.
Yeah, well, so much run in there now is what it is.
Okay. Is that good?
Sorry about that. Thank you.
That's good. That's fine. And if you have any questions, please do speak up. So that was the answer. So what was looking today? Cheskas Chaim. We had our Mishnah that says you have a Cheskas Chaim, and there was a Mishnah, or I think a Mishnah, I'm not sure, that said if you gave a get, that's going to be chal in an hour. You cannot eat truma. First, we tried to say differences about truma and get. Said about truma also, and so that wasn't an answer. Then the Gemara tried to say a difference if she's going to become Muslim in his lifetime, and the Gemara said that maybe she's not definitely going to become Muslim in his lifetime. And then we have two terutzim. One teretz was machlokas of Rabbi and Rabbi Yehuda, and there's no difference between the past and the future. And Rabbi Yehuda said no, that in the past everybody agrees you have the cheskas chaim. So in the case of the Mishnah where he sent a get, you want to know is he alive? You could assume that he's alive, and she went overseas. She could assume that he's alive and eat truma, and the person who bought the carbon could assume that the owner of the carbon is still alive. Everyone agrees you're alive on cheskas chaim in the past. As far as the future is a machlokas. In the case where you gave a get and said that it should take effect.
I would call that the present. How do you call it the past?
Okay.
It was the past that he went overseas, and now today we assume he's still alive.
And we don't say that he died. They want to call the Shema Meis, for top line. Shema Meis, did he die?
Oh, that's what you're saying, past.
Yeah, that's what I said. But it's you maybe what you're saying is more accurate. That you want to know, is he dead now? Is he
Perhaps he
alive now?
died.
Maybe
Perhaps
he's
he
dead.
died, and now
Now he's dead,
not present,
and now he's
dead,
dead.
and we're not worried about that present.
We
Okay,
do
okay.
it. We are choshesh that he's dead. We're not choshesh that he's dead.
Yeah.
We are choshesh that he's going to die. But even that, the Gemara says that as far as the future, Rabbi is not choshesh for that either. And you have the chazaka even projecting it with the next hour, that also he's not going to die. And the case of the Kohen who gave his wife a get that should take effect an hour before he dies, Rabbi will be mad to that also. But Rabbi holds that assassin. New Gemara, this is also the last case of the Mishnah. Hasholeach mechatasa medina sayam. So he's allowed. The shliach is allowed to bring the korban, even though maybe the owner died, and he's not allowed to bring a chata shemesu baleh. Mishnah says you're not choshesh that he died. The Gemara is a side question. I would put in parentheses if everyone's okay with that. That is a side problem. But being a smicha, how could he send korban even if you know that he's alive? How could he send a korban chatas? A korban chatas has to have smicha from the owner. He leans
Well,
on
it's
it,
not the owner,
and the owner's not here,
it's like the
and the
owner.
shliach can't do the smicha.
Okay.
Take the shlichus, could take it in the shlichus.
So Rabbi Lezer is saying that he can't do it before he leaves on the journey because it has to be done right before the shechita, and the owner's not here. How could he send the? How could he send the? Not because of the chash, maybe he's dead. Even if he's surely alive, But
could he offer?
how could he bring the korban? The owner didn't do smicha. I'm Rav Yosef for korban nashim. You're right, it's a good kasha. But the mission what you're talking about that the women sent the korban, the women don't do smicha. There's no there's no din for a woman to do smicha. So in that case, she send the korban. A man really can't send the korban. That if he sent the chatas over, also there's no smicha on a bird. There's no just been smicha on a bird, only on an animal. So that's two korbanos that don't have smicha. So then you can send the korban. Otherwise, you're right. It'd be a technical problem. You can't send the korban. Then the Gemara sums up the Mishnah. The Mishnah said three cases that you have a cheskas chayim, both by sending a get, that the husband is still alive, and eating truma. She's not to continue eating truma because the husband is assumed still alive, and the person who sent the korban, you can be the korban assuming that the owner is still alive. Why do you need three examples of the same yisod that you have a cheskas chayim? With smicha, we need all three examples. Yes, we don't get mishum dalo efsha, avol truma de'efsha, emalo. Maybe only by get that if you get b'choshish that he died, you won't be able to save the woman from the yibum problem, and there's no eitzah, so we don't want to be machmer over there because it's not gonna. There's no eitzah. But truma, it's possible to be machmer, so she won't eat truma. She'll eat chulin. V'yashmin and truma. There's dimnin delo efsha. Avochatas. Oh, avochatas. Take out this word. Take out this word oath. Avochatas misfekel oleh chulin nazara. That truma also sometimes it's important that she should eat truma because she's poor. And she can't afford to buy chulin, so it's important to be not to be machmir and assume that the cheskas chayim, the husband's still alive, shall not eat truma. But by the chatas, maybe it's a suffix not to bring in chulin azora. Maybe the owner did die, and it's not a kosher korban. The chatas that the owner died is not a kosher korban, so we shouldn't bring in the word layol means to bring in. We shouldn't bring in chulin into azora. You know, it's also to shecht chulin in the Beis Hamikdash. So maybe me machmir and don't allow to send the korban. Smicha, we had to take all these cases, even in the case of chatas, also we are allowed to, there's a chiddush, and even there you're allowed to bring the korban assuming the owner is still alive.
Even though you're not allowed to enter chulin into the azara.
Right. You're not allowed to bring you're not allowed to shecht chulin in azar. You're allowed to bring it in, the animal. But the point is to bring it in means you're going to shecht it. You're going to bring the owner's dead. It's a personal korban. It's a chulin. It's called chulin. It's not a kosher korban. It's a hektish korban. It's makdash. But now, out of some mesa, you're supposed to let it die. You're not supposed to bring it as a korban. So you're going to bring a personal korban in the suffix because you're relying on the chazakah that the owner is still alive. Maybe don't rely. Be machmir. Maybe the owner died, and don't bring the korban with a shlichus. Kamashman that you're not choshesh. There's a problem in this word oath over here because the Gemara said a second ago that the case is either by the woman or that the oath. The kasha is that there is no problem to bring a chata sof abal suffix. Place as the kasha because there's no.
You don't need it. So
you don't shecht. There's malika, and you're allowed to bring and you don't eat it. Nobody eats it, so you won't eat it. You won't eat the korban if it's malika. So that's the kasha that you're allowed to bring umtoma. So Tais says a terrorist, but now Tais you could say that there's no chiddush in the old part. The chiddush would be in the animal part. If there's an animal, it says the more I said before, it could be a woman sent the korban. In that case, there's a chiddush. In the case of the bird, it's not no chiddush. Maybe Tais says a different terrorist. Okay, if that's good, so what do we learn about? We have a cheskas chayim, and even after 80, and even a chola, everyone has a cheskas chayim. And the Gemara, the kash sometimes not. So either machlokas or does not, or Rabbi says, even Abu Diyas, Shema Meis Lo Chashina, maybe Shema Yamas is a machlokas. New Mishnah, which continues with the subject about being choshesh for death. Shlosha the Rabbi Rabbi Loz ben Parta, Lefnei Chachamim, the King who has the Varo. Rabbi Loz ben Parta, his name of a Tana. Machabusa pointed out that there's only place in Shas where it says the name of this Tana, Rabbi Loz ben Parta. Maybe the Gemara brings him down sometimes, but in the Mishnah, Rabbi Derdak has a list of all the Tana. The only place in Shas where it mentioned it, one place in Shas. So he said three things before the Chachamim, and they upheld his words. They agreed to him. And here goes the three things. Al ir shekifa karkom, balasfina miterefes bayam, balayotze lidon. That's three cases. That all these three cases are shem becheskes kayamun. That even though it looks bad, there's a problem that maybe they died. Not choshesh. One case is where a siege. The word karkom seems to mean a siege. The city was surrounded by a siege. Are you choshesh that they got killed? No, they have becheskes chayim. Even though they're under siege, they still have becheskes chayim. Sfina miterefes bayam. There's a boat a ship that's being tossed around in the yam. Might capsize, you're not choshesh for that. They still have a cheska hazaka that they didn't die. If it was being tossed around, we saw that the boat's being tossed around, they're not choshesh that they sunk. And also someone's going on trial to be judged for capital punishment. They still have a cheskas time. Shem b'cheskas kayam. That seems to be the three things. I'm not sure if the Chiddush is the 3 or the Chiddush is the next 3. He's going to talk about the same 3 and distinguish between places where it's more chashash that he died. There you are going to be choshesh. The first case, you're not choshesh at all that he's died b'cheskas chaim, and therefore if the wife, let's say, is a eshes kohen, she's allowed to eat truma, all these things. Aval isha kavsha karka. There's going to be, in contrast, before we spoke about, it says shekifa, and it says about mitarefes, and it spoke about lidon. Those are the 3 things that it says in Avrohom. But the next case is going to be a ear shekavsha karka, and the sfina sha'avda bayam. And the Yod say Lehoreg, these is already something maybe they died. If the city was captured by the siege, now you don't know what happened already. And a boat which was sunk, the harm is that it's sunk, and now you want to know a certain person was on the boat as if a cheskes time, and somebody that was going out to be killed, not only Lidon, he was going down, they already passed that is chai misa, and they're going to kill him. So then it's not a chesed, not for sure that he died, but it's already a suffix. No, then you give him all the chashashash. Maybe he's dead, maybe he's alive, you don't know already. And therefore gives an example, what's called Chumei Chaim Chumei Mesim. Yisrael the Kohen, the Bas Kohen Yisrael, no Sochel B'Shuma. Both, if she's a daughter of Yisrael married to Kohen, that as long as the husband's alive, she's allowed to eat Truma, she wouldn't be allowed to eat Truma anymore because maybe he died. Maybe she's not married to Kohen anymore. And the other case also, Bas Kohen Yisrael, if he died, then she wouldn't be allowed to eat Truma. She could eat Truma's base of She can go back home and eat Truma because her father's a Kohen, but she can't eat Truma. Maybe her husband is alive. So those were the 3 things that the Velazim Parata said, that Yikifa and to Refes and Lido, then there's no chash at all. He's assumed alive for everything. But if there's Kavsha Karhom of the Bayam, Yosef Harek, then it's a suffix, we're not sure. The Gemara continues.
The Chumrei Chaim is just about if the woman can eat truma, right?
Right. Maybe he's alive and her husband's Yisrael, she can't eat truma. There might be other applications. What?
Or if she's a Bas Kohen, maybe he's dead. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Then maybe
Bas
he's
Yisrael,
dead.
maybe he's dead. And she don't know, and she can't eat.
Again?
The Chumrah both ways, right?
The Chumrah is 2 different women.
Yeah.
There might be other applications also, but the Mishnah says a case of Truma both ways. Sometimes the Chumrah is that say that maybe he's alive. Some of the Chumrah say maybe he's dead. So either one will choshesh. I'm Rav Yosef. So the Mishnah talks about we're going to go tell the rest of the Gemara talk about Yosef Lehoreg. The last case, Yosef Lehoreg, he was on the way to be killed by the court, by the bezdin. The executioner was Yosef Lehoreg. So it doesn't say if it's a Jewish bezdin or a Goyish bezdin. That's the whole Gemara it's going to talk about. It means someone who's already, the verdict was that it's Chayv Misa, and they're on the way to kill him. Is there, how much chance is there that he might still be alive? So it says in the Mishnah that you're not sure. It's not like a Cheskes Chaim anymore, but it's not definitely dead. And then one talks about maybe sometimes Yechoshua is definitely dead. I'm Rav Yosef, Lo Shana Bal Bezdin Shal Yisrael. Only by Jewish Bezdin that Paskin that is Chayv Misa, then even though he's on the way to be killed, maybe he'll be saved for the last minute. Aval Bezdin Shal Goyim, once they had a verdict to kill him, they're not going to change their mind anymore. The Jewish Bezdin, it says in the Mishnah Sanhedrin that even after they made a psak, they Chayv Misa, or Bezdin 23, whatever you need to kill somebody, they still send a shliach together with the executioners in order that if anybody has a tzad, they're still being done. Maybe he's still potter. And if somebody has a tzad, then they stop the flags and they flag him down and tell him to come back. But the Goyish doesn't do that. Once they have the verdict to kill him, they're going to kill him. So therefore, the Mishnah says that he's dead, but the Goyish Bezin, you know for sure that he's dead. Amalei Abaye, Bezin shall Goyim Nami, the Makabli Shofna. They also take bribery. It's true. Right. They're not gonna reverse the din in the court, but they take shochan. Amalei Kishati Mikam de Lachton Porsi Shanmag. The Bosid and Bachtan Porsi Shanmag Lo Shaki. So this Porsi Shanmag is Persian words. You don't know what it means exactly. From the context, it means psak din. Once they sign the verdict, then they don't take shochan anymore. The pshat is pashut that they only take the shochan under the table, and now it's already on top of the table. They can't stop it. So they don't take shochan anymore.
It says nami that they take poshad. Where did we see that they take poshad before that?
The master council, they take shochan, they take bribery. The answer is they only take bribery before the verdict is signed. They only take bribery once the verdict, before the verdict is signed. Kishakli, when do they take? You see the word Makabli Shofar there? Abai
Yeah.
asked, they take shochat, they take bribery.
That's
told
the
him-
kasha.
That's the kasha. The answer is, when did they take shochat? Before the Persi Shan Mag is signed. But after the Persi Shan Mag is signed, they don't take. What's the Persi Shan Mag? In Persian, it means some kind of the death verdict. It's Persian, so you're better, you can find that better than. Shan
That's
Mag.
exactly what the article said when you said.
How do they pronounce it? Shan Mag?
I know,
They also don't know.
Shinamag.
Shenamag. Okay. Meisvei Kasha. From a following Mishnah, I think. Kol Mokem Sham Dushnayim. Yom Umidinanu Esish Ploni. Shenigma Beis Dino Shal Ploni Ploni. Shal Ploni. Uploni Ploni Edo. Areze Yehored. Somebody, Edom come and say, this man, they call somebody and they say, you should know that this man was asking guilty and for death penalty in a certain Bezdin, and he ran away. People come to Bezdin and they say that they have somebody that was already, how do you say, Paskin, was already
Decided?
judged and decided that he's chayv misim, and he ran away, and we caught him. So the Bezdin doesn't do the whole judgment over again. They kill him because there's testimony that he was found guilty in a certain Bezdin. So it says any place where two people are going to come and say, we testify that this man was Nigma Dino and this Bezdin, and this and these people were Zaydim, we can kill him. But you said a second ago that by a Bezdin Shal Yisrael, even if the verdict was his Chayv Misa, they still might change it. They still sit and continue judging until they kill him. So he might have changed the pshat. How can we say that it's a definite, you can kill him? Maybe it's been changed. That's what the Mishnah says. So if that means that there's a possibility that he was not killed, so how come Bezdin could kill him? Maybe he was found innocent even after the verdict. The Gemara answers, if he ran away, that's different. I think the pshat is once he ran away, Bezdin doesn't continue judging it. Maybe to pater him. It's not relevant anymore.
Where's the Dilma?
You're right. I didn't say it. Dilma B'Reich Shani. Interesting what the Dalit has over here, even though I didn't read it. Some don't have it. I said it's a mistake. I don't know why. The Dilma, who told? Tevas, Dilma is a mistake. Somebody says that it should, you could erase it.
Okay, Boreach Yishan.
B'Reich Shani. Somebody ran away from Bezdin, so that's different over there. They're not going to continue trying to figure out if he's pater or not. What's the difference? He ran away. If it's Negev, we're going to kill him. So we continue trying to study. Maybe we can still find the Torah. So Bezdin, even though the what's his name? The one who's the one who's being killed. The guilty party is on the way to be killed. Bezdin will continue trying to figure out, can we find the heter for him, some kind of Torah. But if he ran away, so they closed the session. If he ran away,
it's different, and maybe that's why you would go ahead and kill him.
Right, because there's no reason to assume that the other Bezdin retracted that pshat.
Okay, fine.
Tashma, if somebody heard from a Jewish Bezdin that somebody died, somebody was killed, so that's a good testimony that the woman, the wife, could be married. Yes, he was Ishto. They could marry. They could say the woman can get married because that's testimony that the man died. But if they heard it from a Goyish executioner, may command the reason.
So you said Yisiu.
Yes, he was Ishto. They could permit the wife to get married.
Period.
Yes. Mikom Teresin shall goyim. If they heard from the, I don't know, what do you want, commissioner, executioner of a goyim that says Ishponi Mes, Ishponi Nerag, obviously it was Ishto. If they heard from the goyim that somebody was killed, died or killed, you can't marry off his wife because Yechoshish that it's not true. If a Jewish Bezdin says so, you could assume that it's true. If a Goyish executioner said, you cannot assume that it's true, that she can't get married. What does that mean? It sounds simple, sounds very nice. Why not? If the Jew is you trust and the Goyim you don't trust. My mace and my neg. What does it mean that this whole story about testifying that he died or was killed? If it means actually he died and killed, is that true? That you don't trust the Goyim? You do trust the Goyim. You see what's ishto. How come you can't allow the woman to get married if the Goyim testify that they killed him? They're not coming to testify. They're coming to say it out of innocence. They're just talking that today's list of executions was 1, 2, 3. They're not coming to testify to permit the wife to get married. They're just talking according to their innocence. So you do trust them. Is trusted. So you can't take the brisa literally that they testify that they said that he was killed. If they said he was killed, we should allow her to get married. Elalab, it must mean that he was on the way to get killed. Mace means Yotzei Lamos. Nerag means Yotzei Lehareg. And that what's the question now? That it says the opposite. Here it says that the Jewish Bezdin, once they say that he was on the way to get killed, we assume for sure he got killed.
Right.
But by the Bezdin of Goyim, you don't assume that he got killed. Maybe they gave shochet or something. So it's the opposite of what we said. Vikatani Bezdin Shal Yisrael Yasi it was Ishto, and also the other way. It says by Goyish Bezdin, you cannot say allow his wife. So it's the opposite of what we said. We said the Jewish Bezdin might change their mind. The Goyish Bezdin doesn't change their mind. The answer is Lola Meis Mamash Nereg Mamash. It's not talking about Yotzei Lehoreg. It's not talking about he actually died. And the kasha was that you could trust the Goyim because Messiah Chafitumo is trusted. So the Kamrit to Chavasei Gabi Goyim on my low, but Kaimilon the call Messiah Chafitumo Imunim Mehemne. The kasha was how come we don't trust the Goyim? We paskin that if they're just talking in their innocence, you could trust them. No, Hani Mili B'Mil said the Lo Shaychi Bey. That's only if they don't have any negias. They have no. It's not relevant to them at all. They don't care. So then Messiah Chafitumo they have no agenda. B'Mil said the Shaychi Ba. But something where they have a negias to, they do uphold their sheker. So Rashi says that here they have an agenda that if they're bezdin, they're court, and they paskin something, it's a cover for them that they should uphold their psak, and they'll say that he was killed even though he wasn't really wasn't killed. So therefore, you don't trust him. It's not called Mashiach Tutumo. So this Gemara just came out that by Jewish bezdin there's a chance that they change the verdict because they had Lamed even after he's on the way to get killed. And by the Goyish bezdin they don't, and they don't even take shochet because it's already too public. They don't take shochet anymore. There's another whole Gemara. The whole Gemara is going to be repeated now, and it looks like it's pretty long, but it's really very short. It's the same Gemara over again till the Mishnah. On the next page, on the Afchav test, in the next 20 lines, the whole thing is the same Gemara over again, but it's an opposite twist. This Gemara is going to say, we'll just say it outside, then to read it, it'll take a couple of minutes. It's the same Gemara over. It's going to say the opposite. That the Bezdin Shal Yisrael, they don't change their mind. And the Goyish Bezdin, you can always give bribery. And the point of course, the Bezdin Shal Yisrael also changes their mind, but it doesn't happen often that they get a change. Once they pass in these Chayv Misa, it doesn't, that Taisa says it doesn't happen. It's true, they do send along the flag man in order to signal if they found any schus in Bezdin, but it doesn't usually happen. So in the Bezdin Shal Yisrael, that's why in the Goyish Bezdin, that's why it says in our mission that it's a suffix. Maybe he's not dead, maybe he's alive. But Jewish Bezdin is definitely dead. And the Gemara is going to be just a mirror image of what we said till now. So we start on the bottom line. Ikdami, that bottom line. That Aleph Dalet sounds for Ikdami. Others have a different version. I'm Rabbi Yosef, the opposite of Rabbi Yosef. Lo shanu el bezdin shal goyim. Only by Goyish bezdin is it a suffix. Maybe he was killed, or maybe he's alive. Avo, top of the line, top line. Bezdin shal Yisrael by a Jewish bezdin. Once they pass the Chayv Mitzvah, they definitely kill him. And the Taisa points out that a very small chance that they found a schus for him after they did a psak. Maybe Bezdin's going to find the schus. They'll find that he's innocent. They only find the schus before the verdict. After the verdict, they don't. Taisa points out here. Taisa points out, of course, they still try, but it's very seldom that they'll find the schus. Lema Messiah, whatever the mirror image, whatever before was a kasha, now is going to be a raya. Whatever was a raya is going to be a kasha. Lema Messiah, it sounds like I have a proof to you because it says that if a fugitive was caught and we say that Bezdin Paskin that is Chayv Misa, we do kill him. That means by a Jewish Bezdin, not Choshish that they change their mind. It says, Kol Makom Sham B'Shnayim V'Yom Umid L'Manu V'Sish Ploni Shenigma Dina B'Bezdin Shal Ploni Ploni Eida V'Reza Yehorev. That people come and testify that this person was found guilty in this certain Bezdin. He's Chayv Misa, so we kill him. And you're not choshesh that maybe they change their mind. So it's right to you that by Jewish Bezdin, they don't usually change their mind. The answer is Dilma B'Rev Shani. Dilma, not Dilma B'Rev Shani. Over there, they don't continue to investigate the case because he ran away. So it's not a riot. You say that it's true, but it's not a riot because it could be that by B'Rev they don't look anymore. Maybe if he's not a B'Rev, they still, if choshesh, maybe they did find it. So it's not a riot, but he still says so. Tashma, now whatever before Zakasha becomes a riot now. Here it says, in this brayso, the same way that you said, if they heard from a Jewish bezdin that Ploni died or was killed, you could marry off his wife because for sure they said the truth. But make come on tracim shall goyim ish Ploni mesish Ploni nerag al yasir. If they heard from a Goyish executioner that a certain person was killed or died, you cannot believe them. And you can't marry the wife off. What does it mean? Literally, my mace and my nerek. What do the words mean that they testify? They say over that he was killed. If it means actually, even a mace mamish, nerek mamish, you don't trust the goyim. The chavasei gav goyim amai lo. Amai ali siwa sisha. Why did he marry off his wife? Anybody, the goyim that are talking in their innocence without kavanah to testify, you could trust them. So you should trust the goyim. They must be talking about elalav. Mace means yotzei lamus. Nerek means yotzei lahorek. And what does it say? Exactly as you said. It says that a Jewish person, you assume that he died, and by a Goyish person, you don't assume because they take bribery. Is that just like you said? The Tani, so you're right. They're right what you said. That by a Jewish person, they don't usually retract. And the opposite, by a Goyish person, they could retract because of the bribery. But the Gemara says it's not approved. Mamish, Nerek, Mamish. You can take it literally. And the Kash was talking, you don't trust the Goyim because they have any gears. How come it says you don't trust the guy and we know you do trust them? The answer is they have an agenda. If they have no negias, you can trust them. They want to uphold their sheker, and therefore, even though they said that he was killed, it could be they want to say that he was killed because it's neat for the court to have upheld whatever they pass, but it's not a riot. So we have without any kasha, so we have two lashonas. On one hand, the Bezin of Yisrael might find the schus even after, because that's what they used to try. But how much does it happen? So Machok is two Lashonas if you choshish that he might be alive, or maybe say definitely died. And the Goyim is also two Lashonas that might be, maybe you say that once they made a verdict, they're not going to retract, or maybe they take shofar even after the Shan Mag is already signed, and they might retract the psak. So two Lashonas in Rav Yosef. I didn't see the psak. We have no maskana. What Amish is talking about? Two Lashonas. What Amish is talking about? Is it talking about a Goyish Bezin?
So we're not in this mission.
Depends who we're going to pass like, what is it going to say? We'll say the Horeb. Look at my of Sif Samach.
Find out on the internet.
Our mission, according to Rabbi Elazar ben Baruch,
It doesn't part is the halacha. But the question is, what does he mean to say by the Yosef Horeg that you are choshish that he's dead, but you also choshish that he's alive? Is that talking about a Jewish version or a Goyish version? Let's see what it says over here in Ibn Ezra, Kuf Mem Aleph Samach Tes. יש שקיפו האחר בעוד מעוס המלכוס והיו במוצא וספינה מתפרחס בים ותלידם דנפשס חסקס חיים. אבל יש שכבשו יש שקיפו האחר במלכוס החרס ספינה שעבדה בים יוצא להורג בדיני גויים. So the Shulchan Aruch says the Mishnah is talking about Dinei Goyim. The first lashon, I think, B'Dinei Goyim. So then, what does it say? No, so Mason. He says like, but that means that it will be by a. Oh, the second lashon. But if it will be a Bezin Shal Yisrael, it doesn't say, but that's what he says. It's talking about a Goyim. Mason. So I guess he means to say, but if it will be Jewish Bezin, then it's definitely there. That's the second lashon.
Make sure you put away the dishes also.
Yashiko. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Well, did you walk here?